Hey, what's up, folks? Welcome back to On Texas Football, and welcome back to our Friday live stream. I'm lifetime Longhorn Rod Davis. Pleased to be joined by the estimable, the one and only Jerry Hamilton, and my good friend and esteemed colleague, Jeff Howell. Got a lot to get into on the show. We got a little Manning update, Arch Manning update that I want to get into. We also will get to the Combine. The DBs showcasing right now. It looks like we got some numbers on Manny Muhammad, which we'll dive into. We'll also talk about Michael Taft will be performing there. Yesterday, you had Anthony Hill and Trey Moore who put their skills on display at the Combine, so we can talk about all that. The show belongs to you, show of the people, for the people, and by the people. So throw out your questions, comments. We'll try to address as many of them as we can. Super chats always jump to the front of the line, and you can interrupt the show at any time. Just throw out a super chat. But I think before we get to Combine stuff, because there's some guys increasing their draft stock, making themselves some money, especially with the Longhorns. We'll get to that. But there is an update on the Arch Manning injury recovery from the surgery. Jeff, give the folks out there the little nugget that was on the website for the OTF fam who are hooked up. By the way, you should be hooked up there as well. But what's the nugget on Arch Manning?
Let me add a couple things. One, big things. I keep saying this, big things coming for OnTexasFootball.com for the website in 2026. I'm pumped about it. Jerry's got that grin on his face. Yes, we are all excited about where the site's going. And shout out to my high school, Florence High School and Texas State University. I'm about to embarrass both of them. Yeah, Rod, I'd look up the word estimable because, I don't do that many shows with you and Jerry. So I'd actually look up the word estimable. So I couldn't just pull that one off the top of my head. So shout out to everybody that's had a hand in my education or lack thereof. Now, look, onto the update, onto what everybody's here to hear about, not me jabber on. This CJ Vogel, and CJ's got some more offseason news notes and nuggets, but he followed up on the Arch Manning report by Heather Dinich yesterday. Heather Dinich of ESPN that reported that Arch is out of the boot and he's, making his way back. CJ reported that he has resumed throwing. Arch has, and he's been present in a lot of the recent throwing sessions. I'll say this, though. This is the key thing for me. CJ said, speaking of which, the expectation for Manning in spring ball is exactly that he'll be limited. Look for KJ Lacey to receive a lot of burn with the first unit in live situations. Now, Jerry, I think this could be the best of both worlds because Arch gets back, gets some rapport with Cam Coleman, gets to work with some of the youngsters, but you're not overdoing it with him. And you're really figuring out two things, I think, Jerry. One, getting KJ Lacey established as your QB2 for 26. And the second part of that is starting to figure out, hey, what's going to be the portal plan at quarterback going into 27? Do we need to maybe bring in a one to compete or keep going like the Matthew Caldwell, MJ Morris route?
Yeah, and look, I think this is even if Arch was 100% good to go this spring, guys, I think we're going to see a lot of KJ Lacey with the ones in that scenario because they have to get him prepared to play. Last year, obviously, Matthew Caldwell was the number 2, and KJ Lacey was on that emergency. We want you the red shirt, but here's your emergency guy in case something really goes bad like University of Missouri, right? I think we're going to see a lot of KJ Lacey with the ones anyways, outside of Arch getting comfortable with Cam Coleman, maybe some of the other guys. But I just think this is a KJ Lacey spring in a lot of ways, Rod, because he's one play away next year. And he has had very few snaps. I don't know what PFF said his total snaps are, but I think this is a KJ Lacey spring for the most part anyways, because obviously Arch had to leave the game a couple of times last year. And that'll very likely happen again, whether it's just a hit, you have to go out for a few plays, and they got to get KJ Lacey ready to play. But on terms of Arch, it's great it's great just to build a rapport. I can't wait for the report on his first incompletion in a throwing session. I'm sure there's going to be all sorts of reports out there about that. The first overthrow, the first underthrow, whatnot. But I think this is a big spring for KJ Lacey, building that quarterback depth, and it's a big spring for KJ Lacey getting some rapport with those number ones, because at some point next year, everybody knows he's going to be called upon, but it's great to have Arch back out there, obviously, and that is going to be even more coverage of Texas quarterbacks this spring.
Last year, the first year, Sark had a quarterback start every game, but then but definitely needed Matthew Caldwell to come in critical moments. Of course, Mississippi State game, Florida game, coming in some critical moments, and he was money, by the way. Money Matthew Caldwell. He was icing. I don't know what anybody know what Matthew Caldwell is going to be doing now? We just figured it out. Because Matthew Caldwell, he earned some stripes with Longhorn fans. All right. I don't know where you live in, Matthew Caldwell, but Longhorn fans will always show you some love, man. For them 3-4 plays, you was in there, but you was money.
I don't know what he's going to be doing, but I think his heart rate's going to be low.
Right. Guy's clutch, man. He's clutch. And like I said, people had told me, like, they was like, no, he's even before the Mississippi State thing, they were like, he's really intense on the sideline. Like for a backup, he's strangely like just really focused, laser focused. Well, now we see why, and it paid off.
Honestly, next for Matthew Caldwell, and I only say this because some folks brought it up in the chat. It's probably gonna be thrown at pro day. Like, unless I'm forgetting somebody, man, Jack injuries might be it for the skill guys at pro day. Unless I'm just missing somebody.
Unless one old guys want to come work out again or something like they've done. But you're right, Jeff. I think you're right about that.
I haven't talked to DJ Johnson in a minute, but remember DJ had that run where it was like 4 straight pro days in a row. Hey, if they're gonna let you work out, if that's the best way to get a look from the scouts, then go for it. But no, I would imagine it's gonna be Matthew Caldwell throwing at pro day for injuries.
Okay, I didn't even think about that, but you're right. Good point on that, Jeff. The pro days. Oh man, I remember David Ash was telling me stories. I think David Ash came back and threw at a pro day or something like that. Yeah, David Ash has great stories, man. Like I really slept on David Ash as a storyteller. Man, we gotta try. Have we had him on OTF? We have had him on once in the morning. He's a great. He talks about his arm as like this separate entity. And you know what I mean, that he refers to it in the stories. He was like, and she was feeling good that morning. So I decided, and then he just like, I think that's why he had so many pro days. He'd come back, he'd be like, "No, I'm actually feeling good." And I mean, everybody knows David Ash could go before the injuries and everything. So the guy, we may have some old school guys come do pro day. It won't be Robbie.
Jerry, the bet, like, here's a couple things that one, like the David Ash that we've had on Coffee and Football, and Rod, I know you got to talk to him on Third and Longhorn. It's very different from the David Ash, Jerry, that I covered at Belton High School, because that David Ash had little to no kind of worldly experience at that point. It was kind of culture shock for him, because I know he got to Texas and early enrollee. They ruined him with Quandre, which you talk about guys that had different life experiences at that point. I don't know that you get much polar opposite than David Ash and Quandre. So David Ash got a crash course on real world life stuff. Rumor with Quandre. But
you're either going to be very confident immediately, or you're going to get pushed to the side. Quandre doesn't have time for somebody that's not confident.
No, that's good. Honestly, that should be a series, guys. I'm not joking. You should try to talk to guys who are sweet mates, the roommates. I'm talking about, like, because the team wouldn't give you a choice. They would just pair you with somebody. Remember they paired Sims and Applewhite in their attempt to try to whatever, whatever they would do. Sometimes it was a mistake. I was with Jam a lot of times. I was talking with a Huff Daddy, and he was with Michael Griffin. But it's weird, like they would just like, we think these two should be together, and they put together David Ash and Quandre Diggs. It was like, but every coaching staff is a little bit different how they want to do that. But that's great. Yes, Beyonce did love David Ash. I asked David Ash if he had access to that photo, and he did hint that it is one of his favorite memories, or pieces of memorabilia, if you will, from his playing days. Yes,
I'm leading the resume with that. Are you kidding me?
What? I would have it on my phone. It would be my screensaver, and I'm sorry, like my wife would have to be upset with me. Yes, Beyonce wearing my jersey, screensaver for life. When I die, it'll be on my phone like that. So good. All right, let's get to let's thank our sponsor before we move on and talk some NFL Combine here. Let's thank our friends over at Garage Beer. We appreciate them. Garage Beer is crisp, refreshing, and folks, only 95 calories. Made for folks who love light beer. All right, and it's beer flavored beer. They want to make it simple for you to be enjoyed anywhere and with your friends and family. Any get together, Garage Beer is the perfect beer for all those great occasions, and the garage is always open for Garage Beers. Matter of fact, I got some right here in my little mini fridge, but I'm going to wait because I have self-discipline. And I'm going to wait to the end of the show to pull out and pop the top on my Garage Beer and get the weekend officially started. That's how we like to do things. All right, thank you to our friends at Garage Beer. Gentlemen, let's talk NFL Combine. Jerry, we talked about this morning because we were talking about Malik Muhammad, and he said, you said he went on Pro Football Talk with
Chris Sims.
And
he went with Chris Sims, predicted 4.35 to 4.4, and he's getting there. He's getting there.
I mean, he was at unofficial. I mean, I think it's official now, actually. 4.42 is what they had him at officially, which is the 6th fastest time now among the cornerbacks. My thing with Malik Muhammad was he's going to have to solidify himself as a top 10 corner. And then you can start rising up everybody's individual draft board based on meetings, based on, the system that they want to run and how they think you'll fit in that system, all that kind of stuff, right? Different reasons you'll rise up draft boards. But solidify yourself as a top 10 guy. I feel like he might have done that, in my opinion, easily as a top 10 guy now. If you go look at just the kind of the main, obviously, events of the combine here for corners, he was 6th in broad jump with a 10-10 broad jump, which is really impressive.
That's a nice one. Yeah.
It really is nice. He had his 10-yard split was tied for 3rd among the corners of his 4.42 40, which was 6th overall. And he was tied for 8th among cornerback verticals, but a 39. I mean, the cornerbacks were fun. Dude, this dude, D'Angelo Pond, did y'all see what he jumped?
Yeah. I think he got bored at 43 and a half and decided to come back down or something, 44. What was it?
43 and a half is what they had him at as a vertical.
Yeah.
He measured in at like 5'8", right? He was 5'8".
He probably looked down and said, that's enough, and came right back down.
That's like 60% of his height. Like, that's unbelievable. He's a
guy that was Rod. What was he coming out of high school out of Florida? Too short. What did he come in at? I don't even know what he came in. I'm sure it's 5'8.5" for Ponds. Too short. Man. Wasn't strong. Wasn't big enough. He goes to JMU, transfers to Indiana, and now he's probably going to be a first-round pick, maybe 2nd round at the latest.
Yeah. So that's so my point was that Muhammad, that 39 is a really good vertical. I mean, a great one actually. This combine, the DBs just happen to be flying. I mean, they all got the MJ shoes on, man. They got some lifts going. So they're 8th among cornerbacks and verticals. So I think that's my take on it, is that now he can rise up individual draft boards, but he's a top 10 cornerback. I don't care which list you're looking at. He should be a top 10 guy.
And I love that he put up this time because, look, I talked to an NFL scout a few weeks back, and I asked him I was asking about a bunch of guys. He said, we're all thinking Manny Muhammad's going to run close to 4.5. They weren't thinking that he was going to be at 4.4 flat. That's a 4.42. That's a really good number for Manny Muhammad. And look, I'm really happy for Manny because Malik, I stopped going by Manny Malik, but these guys that go 3 and out for Texas, we want all these guys to be drafted really high. That's big for future recruiting. And Malik came out as a top 50 prospect in the country in his high school class. And Nick Saban fought for him through his commitment to Texas, kept fighting for him so that he comes – the fact that he's a 3 and out guy now, just like he wanted to be, this is big for him to go perform well, go get drafted as high as possible for this Texas program. These are very good things when Kelvin Banks, Anthill, Malik Muhammad, all these guys that are 3 and done, did they come out and show really well? I'm quite sure Malik Muhammad is going to say that people can say now, look, he's faster than people thought. Torrey Becton's doing a good job. Player development isn't just about the Saturday and the football practices. It's about the offseason workouts and the work with Torrey Becton. So Texas is doing their job to help these guys maximize.
Jerry, that was the thing for me with you mentioned Torrey Becton. Going back to the Xavier Worthy, A.D. Mitchell combine, and then last year with Matthew Golden, and now this year with Manny Muhammad. This is multiple years in a row now where Texas guys have gone to the combine. You're like, man, that guy jumped higher. He ran faster. A lot of that stuff than we thought, than we expected. So, yeah, those guys are putting in work, and they're doing it, whatever training center they were at, getting ready for the combine. Man, that's a tip of the cap to your strength conditioning program that guys are going to the combine and exceeding expectations.
Yeah, that's a good broad jump too. Rod said that 10-10.
No, that 10-10 is really good. Like I said, I think it's just really good crop of athletes in this draft at these positions, and they're showing off right now at the combine. But no, to your point though about the players, and I said this to you, Jerry, when you asked me about how fast Manny would run, and you talked about his prediction and everything, and I said I'm going to predict he's going to run faster than we expected because they all do. The Texas guys seem to go to the combine and run faster than we expect. To Jeff's point, I said it this morning. I totally agree, Jeff. It's not all Torrey Beckton because obviously they're training with their own individual training specialists for the combine and everything like that. But you can't do miracles in 3 months or whatever it is, right? You still have to have, build up a foundation, and these guys have a great foundation, and they show off at the combine. I'll give them that. The one thing that kind of, I said, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer here. I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer at all. But some of these metrics now with Manny Muhammad and some of the things I'm seeing from scouts are saying, yeah, he should be playing a lot of man coverage. Because he's 6 foot, 32 3/8 inch arms, right? I mean, you got the straight line speed that you need to keep up. And I remember at the seat at the in mobile, they were saying, I think Julian Neal was the corner that said it. He said, man, Muhammad has really good press skills. Yep. He presses really well. Now, I mean, it stood out to me. I was like, he wasn't impressed a lot at Texas. And so I went and looked at it. I wanted to do some research because like I said, all of these, he had the 6 longest arms of the cornerback. So they were like, man, I bet he's really good in man situations. And he may project to a team that wants to play a lot of man. Texas, in his career, he's at a 21% man coverage rate. And I went and looked at the top 24 corners coming out in this draft. That was 19th highest coverage rate from the 24 top corners in this draft coming out. I think there were 32 of them invited to the combine. Yards allowed per coverage, 3rd best in man coverage, behind Pons and the Iowa cornerback. I forget his name. And in the ball hawk rate, which is forced incompletion rate, forced PBUs and interceptions, 8th best in man coverage. Passer rating allowed, 57 was 6th best among that group in man coverage. They didn't play a lot of man. Texas was mostly a zone coverage team, as we know. And in zone coverage, he was 17th in forced incompletion rate among those 24 corners. He was 14th in passer rating allowed in zone coverage among those cornerbacks. And so I don't know, some of the metrics and stats would bear out that he should have been in man a little bit more. And maybe even press man a little more. And he is a technician. I mean, he's literally from a family of cornerbacks and DBs. Yeah, he's got 2 cornerbacks playing and 2 cornerback cousins playing in the league. Got another one that's playing DB at SMU, I believe. And that cornerback is their family business. Yes. So I kind of got into this a little bit earlier today on Coffin Football about Trey Moore and him looking really good at the combine, and Anthony Hill and how they should have been utilized more in multiple ways and showing off multiple dimensions of their game. But I think Manny, probably should have been in man a little bit more. The way things project.
I mean, looking at Saban recruited him to the whistle. To the whistle.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, so that's all we need to really know. By the way, I'm waiting on that El Cone time for Manny. I think that's a moneymaker for him. If he rips off a really good time in the El Cone, I think that's the second piece to this for him. So I'm really looking forward to see what he does there and in the 5-10-5 shuttle. If he goes above and beyond what the scouts probably had him projected at, that's going to be a good day for him.
Is this, Rod, another data point to file away as to why Sark made the defensive coordinator change? Like, to hear at the combine, hey, should have guys playing more man coverage? Should have had Anthony Hill rushing the passer a little bit more? Should have used Trey Moore going downhill a little bit more? I mean, again, that move just fascinates me because you don't make that move unless you feel like you're definitely upgrading. I think you do with Will Muschamp. If Will Muschamp wants to coach football again on a full-time basis, you go do it. But I just think this is Sark wanting a more aggressive defense. I guarantee you those man coverage rates for the Texas corners, they're going to be much higher than that in 26.
Yeah. No, I agree with you 100%. And it was just fascinating to me to see Trey Moore and Anthony Hill have similar measurables. And even Trey Moore have a really good workout running a 4.54. And I just thought to myself, both can play linebacker and play on the edge. Brad Spence, another guy, can play linebacker and play on the edge. And you brought all these guys in, and I don't know if I saw them become multiple enough defensively.
Yeah,
you should have shown them be able to create more confusion up front with multiple fronts and being able to, obviously evolve those fronts with all of your pieces. And I don't think I saw enough from that from PK. I would have thought that you'd have seen more of that. They still did a good job, but to your point about there was something that Sark didn't like. Sark loves guys who can play multiple spots and guys who you can move around the chessboard. And I don't know if PK did enough of that with those types of players, because Anthony Hill was definitely one of those guys. And it looks like Trey Moore might have been one of those rare hybrids too, that you can create kind of one of those hybrid defenses. And that's what everybody wants. That's why Trey Moore's got a shot in the league now, because he can be viewed as a hybrid in a sub package. And everybody's trying to create what the Seahawks have done. They won't be able to do it, but they got to try to create it in their own way. But ultimately, it's about guys who can play multiple positions or have multiple dimensions to their game. And
And by the way, let's add this piece into it too. There's a recruiting piece to it. I mean, Texas recruited exceptionally well, but now that you're in the SEC and the people you're recruiting against, there's corners like they're going to play press and play man. The top guys, right? I mean, and you're recruiting against people you're getting in these battles nationally in the Southeast region and the state of Texas, because everybody's recruiting in here saying, hey, man, you come here, you're going to play press, you're going to play this higher percentage of man than you would if you go to Texas. That matters in recruiting. I mean, look, that matters. I mean, I'm here to tell you, there's somebody trying to hit at Texas on that right now in cornerback recruiting. I was told that today. But that's now going to change with Will Muschamp. So that's a big piece to this from a recruiting standpoint as well.
And Texas did increase their man coverage rate last year, but just not enough, I think, for Sark. Press coverage is something we just don't see a lot of. But with Cade Phillips coming and maybe some more physical.
Grayson Littleton.
Yeah, I think you may get more press in situations, get more press man too from Texas. All right, let's get to we'll get back to the combine. I got some, and obviously Michael Taft's going to be testing here pretty soon. One thing I will say about the combine though, have y'all noticed it's losing a lot of its luster because guys are not participating.
Jalen Gilbo's not running today. People said in the chat, why'd you show up if you're not going to run? People already don't think you're fast enough.
What are we doing? What is he? He's not. Is he hurt? He's got to be hurt.
I've been on the road, so I don't know.
I'm gonna say he's got to be hurt. If that's just a decision you decided not, because one of the things I think that helps them in this, since nobody wants to really compete at the combine anymore, they just want to come kind of pick and choose what they run and what they compete in and what they test in, which I totally get, because your agent's probably telling you, hey man, we've been training for this for 2+ months. You're really good in these 3 things. You should go do these 3 things. And then whatever, either don't do the other stuff or save it for a pro day. And I get that. This is all about now. It's not real football. This is about just increasing your draft stock. So I totally get that. But
yeah, you know who needs to have a tremendous testing day is Michael Taft, because 29 1/4 inch arm length wide, that is not a good thing. That means he's going to be a neutral or maybe neutral or negative on a wingspan. That is not good as a safety. So he needs to test a lot better than people think today.
I agree with that. I was thinking, in a few areas, he needs to change direction drills. He needs to show that he's really good there. And then he needs to surprise people in the 40. And I hate to say it like that because it makes me seem like I'm just hating on the white safety, which you guys know I do not do that. Jalen Gilbo opting not to run to come. I don't get it. Because I said, one of the things I think that helps Texas is that their guys, they don't have many guys that opt out. They guys that are competing in these drills. It doesn't matter to the NFL coaches that are there that you want to compete on the big stage. I don't know how many points it gives you. I don't know in terms of how valuable that data point is, but it is about competition and performing under pressure. And some guys are like, nah, I want to go to more of a controlled environment. It's like, no, it won't be. The NFL is not a controlled environment. You don't get to control the damn thing. All right, you got to go out there and you got to perform. And I think that's what they like about some of the Texas players. But here are the numbers from just yesterday. I don't have the numbers from today because it's still calculating. But only 51% of the players, the front 7 players that went to the combine ran the 40. Same thing that did the vertical yesterday. 48% of them did the broad jump. 20% of them did the short shuttle. 13% of them did the 3 cone, and 37% of them overall. All right, decided to, in terms of the overall drills, did everything. Only 37% of them did everything. These numbers are terrible. Like, basically, they need to start. You can't disinvite these guys, but if they're not gonna, perform like half the stuff at the combine, they need to find a new system where they can bring in more prospects or something.
Yeah. Well, look, I was thinking about some of this because I've been driving around the Southeast region all weekend. So I went through Thomaston, Georgia, Upson Lehigh. That's where Trevon Walker's from, who went number 1 in the NFL draft. I think it was 2022 out of Georgia. What helped him elevate to that spot? At 6'5", 272, he ran 4.51 at the NFL Combine. Think if he had opted out. Think if he hadn't tested. Now, it also goes to what I say about guys like Rod, right? And nowadays in these Under Armour Combines I was part of for 10 years. Guys who can roll out of bed and run 4.4 running anywhere. If you're concerned about how you run, you're not going to run it all the time. You're not going to run everywhere. And so when I was thinking about that, just driving around, Trevon Walker, what he did at that NFL Combine, I think it was 6'5", 272 running 4.51. You think that didn't elevate him further? You're damn right it did.
Yep, I agree with you. Like I said, I don't know why. I'm not going to judge the young man because I don't know his situation, but man, go out there and compete. And you can run again at the pro day if you don't like it too. I heard CB said that Anthony Hill RAS score was crazy good. It was crazy good. So that got me curious. So I went and looked at RAS scores historically, because they got a website. Go all the way back to 1987, and it's a relative athletic score. So essentially, they combine height, weight, arm length, hand size, 40, short shuttle, 3 cone, broad jump, vertical, everything, and they got their own little cumulative score they've come up with. And they call this a relative athletic score. By the way, everybody doesn't have one, because some guys, they were injured, so they didn't do everything, and so it's incomplete. Like Matthew Golden has an incomplete one too, because he didn't do everything. I tried to look up like Roy Williams when I played with, and he didn't have one. Right. I tried to look up VY didn't have one. So some guys are just, Casey Hampton didn't have one. So not everybody has one. All right, so throw it out there too. So since 1987, there have been 36 players, guys, with a relative athletic score. Now, keep in mind, it is incomplete for the most part. Like I said, there's a lot of guys who are just they're not applicable because they didn't do everything to complete the relative athletic score formula. And here is 9.93. That's what Anthony Hill is with the relative athletic score. Well, actually, I think on the website, because that's unofficial, that U at the end stands for unofficial. So it's official on the website is 9.84. That's what I have him from the website. That could have been, so just that's what I'm judging it off of. All right, so that makes him 5th since 1987. So at 40 years, we're talking about 40-year sample size in terms of the highest ranking relative athletic score. And they do every guy. They got guys who went undrafted. They got guys who went to the combine, who didn't go to the combine. They just got players, period. And they take pro day stuff. They take combine stuff. They do a pretty decent job. I didn't know it was this thorough. Okay, so here's what I want to ask you. Can you guess any guy in the top 10? I'll give you 3 guesses. Jerry and Jeff. You get 3
top
guesses.
10, top 10 all-time linebacker RAS score?
Yeah, there you go. That's what they have that as the RAS score. So can you guess, since 1987, we got 40-year sample size.
Linebackers.
Can you guess? And this is, like I said, it's all positions. And like I said, not all of it is complete. We talked about that as well. Try to get me, and I'll give, you know what? You can go top 20. How about we'll go top 20? Yeah, I'll give you 3 guesses to see how many you can get in the top 20.
And you're talking all time.
It's
all positions.
Since 1987. That's as far back as their data.
Well, I'll go first. Sonny Styles.
No, it's just Texas guys.
Oh, just Texas guys.
At Texas. Longhorn players. Yeah. Sonny. Yeah, you're right. That'd be too easy. Then you just name it freaks.
All right, who's next?
Randy Moss. Saquon Barkley.
Eric Metcalf would have to be up there, assuming he has a score.
Eric Metcalf is not in the top 20.
Jamal Charles?
Jamal Charles, not in the top 20. I know. Trust me, I felt the same way when I looked at it. I was like, hold on, we sure about this? I think I can give you Eric Metcalf. Eric Metcalf is 7.40.
Michael Huff should probably be in it.
Who was the other one you said? He was 7.40. Who was that other one? You said Eric Metcalf and somebody else.
I said Jamal Charles.
Jamal Charles, yeah.
Jamal Charles on my list here. He might have been one of the ones who is not, who wasn't available, honestly. I'm trying to look up Jamal Charles.
Michael Huff has to be in there if he tested.
Boom! Michael Huff is number 10, 9.69 RAS for Huff.
I remember Tim Crowder having a really big combine.
He is not in the top 20.
Okay.
But I think
we're missing the obvious one if he tested. Brian Robeson.
He is number 12.
Wow.
All time. He is 9.59 RAS.
Wow.
I know. That's why I thought it was interesting. I was like, oh, it's not exactly, it doesn't always go the way you think it's going to go. The RAS, they got a lot in there.
I'll throw one out.
Jamal Charles, I found Jamal Charles, 8.56. Jamal Charles at 8.56.
Lamar Houston.
Ooh, that is a good one. He is on my list here. He is at 9.30. He's number 24.
Dang.
Didn't make it in the top 20, number 24.
Geez, we're forgetting an obvious one.
Xavier Worthy, if he has a score, it's got to be up there.
Well done, Jeff. He is in the top 20, 9.41. He makes it to number 19.
Okay.
Yeah.
Devin Duvernay.
No, I was surprised. Whoa! I know. Devin Duvernay not in the top 20. And actually, Devin Duvernay does not have a 9.0 or better. Only 36 of them. He is not one of those guys. I know. Trust me, I was surprised by this too.
What about Earl Thomas?
Earl Thomas had historically one of the lowest RAS in the history of RAS. I'm not making it up. Earl Thomas had like a 5. I swear. Go look up Earl Thomas's RAS. It was shockingly low.
Georgetown Eagle, Byron Murphy and Tavondre Sweat. One of those two guys is going to be in.
Byron Murphy makes it into. Yes, he's number 27 overall, 9.23 RAS though. So he is.
Wow.
The two guys I was thinking about, Brian Arakpo and Kenny Vaccaro.
Brian Arakpo is really high. Brian Arakpo is in the top 20. He is 9.37 RAS.
Okay.
And who was the other one you mentioned?
Kenny Vaccaro.
No, Kenny Vaccaro was lower than I thought too. Kenny Vaccaro was 7.98.
Joseph, wow.
I know. Yeah, trust me, I went deep down the rabbit. I was like, "This is wild."
Brandon Jones. I'm not sure if he did everything. The combine.
I do not have Brandon Jones. I'm not sure he was that high.
Marquise Goodwin.
Yep, Marquise Goodwin does make it pretty high on this list. As a matter of fact, I just had Marquise Goodwin. He is on the list. Let me find him because I'm looking at a long list of guys here. Boom, Marquise Goodwin, 9.27. He is number 25.
Wow.
If Worthy's on there, A.D. Mitchell, I think, would have to be on there.
A.D. Mitchell is among the highest ever. He's number 3 on this list.
Wow.
9.99 RAS.
Wow.
Jeez.
Yeah. Like I said, it's a wild thing. I found it pretty.
You know what? Is Malik Jefferson on there? I think Malik Jefferson had a
yes. You are right. Good job, Jeff. Malik Jefferson's number 8 on this list. 9.77 RAS.
And a wild card. What about Gary Johnson? Because he ran, I think, in the 4.4s.
No, Gary Johnson. He wasn't a 9 or better.
He was probably late for the combine.
Thank you for that, George.
No problem.
But no, I mean it's fascinating. I would just say somebody's asked about Rod Babers. I wanted to know too, so I was curious. All right, and I was going to dump the RAS score until I saw that Rod B. How about this? 9.33 RAS.
Hey,
22 on the list.
There you go, Rod. We're gonna get Blake Monroe to make you an NFL combine card that says 9.33 on the RAS.
That's crazy. I'm like, what is going on? Yeah, they got me sandwiched in between Jordan Hicks at 9.35 and Baron Sorrell at 9.31. So shout out to those guys. Yeah. I'll just give you the
Yeah.
Hey, I was like, let me see this rap. It is not suspect. This is a valuable entity that teams should use to evaluate talent. But it could also show us a bunch of BS because Riley only lasted 5 years. But anyway, but it's a data point. I think it's just a data point.
It is a great
athletic profile. Because the 2 10s are Sam Cosmi. Sam Cosmi got a 10 on this thing, the RAS, and Edward Simmons in 1987.
Whoa, wow.
I think he went undrafted. By the way, I think this is when they first started, so maybe they was tweaking the formula. Bijan Robinson is number 4, 9.85 RAS, right in front of Anthony Hill. Derek Johnson, number 6 on this list, 9.80 RAS for Derek Johnson. How about this one to surprise you? Brendan Schooler, getting some love. Brendan Schooler, 9.78 RAS, which makes sense. Guy played wide receiver and DB at Power 4 programs. You got to be a good athlete to do that.
I've been covering pro days for about 15 years at Texas now. Brendan Schooler and Marcus Johnson have had the 2 most impressive pro day workouts I've ever seen in person.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Yeah, Brendan Schooler was. I mean, some of his stats and metrics, I should say, in testing were really mind blowing. Like had a crazy vertical, was really good. I said Malik Jefferson was 8. Ricky Williams is 9.73 RAS. And Michael Huff, we said, was 10, 9.69. Taquan Graham really high on this list, 9.68. We talked about Brian Robertson at 9.59. Caden Stearns, a little surprising, made 13th on this list, but he had some freaky workouts, man, 9.57 RAS. It says Kelvin Banks should be there. Kelvin Banks is 8.34. So didn't quite crack. Now, some of these I was like, I don't know how the hell they didn't crack it. Like Jadae Barron was 8.64. Aaron Ross was 8.18.
See, I was thinking about Aaron Ross. That's wild.
So, there you go. That's most of it. Stanley the Sheriff's at 16, 9.53. So they go really old, and sometimes, like I said, sometimes they go really old, and you get guys with really high scores. But most of the guys, I think, are from the more modern era or the more recent era.
Man,
I got a question for the chat. I want you guys' thoughts on this, and Rod and Jeff. 1, does Arch Manning run the 40 at the Combine next year? 1. 2, what do people think he would put up if he runs the 40?
That's good.
Okay, we've now seen Arch go pop the clutch, as whoever that was at the said during the bowl game.
That's
1,
good.
do we think he runs? And 2, what do we think he runs?
Oh, that's good because he's got some good straightaway speed, but I don't know. I want to know because the 40 is about the burst.
Yeah,
like your 40 is about that first 10. Yeah, that first 10. So 4.5 seems safe.
I think that. I think low 4.5.
Yeah, 4.5 seems safe, bro.
Yeah,
because he's legit 6'4". I mean, he's got size to him. So I'm gonna say maybe mid to high 4.5s. Yeah. Jeff, what are your thoughts?
I was thinking mid 4.5. Mid 4.5 is about like 4.56, something like that was the first number between like 4.59 and 4.56, somewhere in there. Yeah, thank you, Silver Spurs sicko. My initial reaction, Jerry, I don't think he runs the 40th Combine.
Oh, yeah.
That's my not saying I'm right.
It has nothing to do with what kind of quarterback he's going to be long term, but that'll be interesting. It's not going to benefit him. It would just be kind of
cool. Yeah. He might not run it at all.
Yeah, because what?
Did Peyton run it? Peyton ran the 40, didn't he?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah,
Peyton
but
run the 40. I thought Peyton ran it. Maybe I'm thinking about.
I remember that big neck rolling down.
I remember him actually doing, and I thought I remember him doing it, but maybe I'm off. I don't know.
No, but I think, Rod, it's kind of like a lot of things, like the eligibility deal. Like if this was 1997 or 2003, we'd be talking about Arch definitely having one more year, like being in the 28 draft. So much has changed. When's the last time like a lock top 5 type quarterback threw at the Combine? I may be missing somebody, but it's rare that it happens now.
Yeah, it's
Peyton, I thought I remembered the long neck running the 40, 4.80 at 6'5", 230.
Ooh, that's actually faster than I thought. That's a young guy.
Yeah.
I feel confident that Arch runs a 4.5 now. If Peyton ran a 4.8. It's like the least athletic of all the Mannings. All right, good stuff, guys. All right, let's thank our sponsor a couple of sponsors before we move on. We'll answer some questions as we approach the end of our live stream. Jerry, would you do us a favor and tell the folks about one of my favorite spots in Texas, Hayes City Store?
One of all of our favorite spots. It's just one of those restaurants when you first go to, they're special. That is Hayes City Store. It's one of those places. It's scratch-made Texas comfort food. They've got their famous truck stop enchiladas, award-winning chicken fried steak, and homemade desserts. All of it is absolutely delicious. All of it from scratch. I could read that 10 times and it's still the same. There's also live music 6 nights a week with 50 beer taps, ice cold long necks, and tasty margaritas. There are 13 TVs alone in their ice house, perfect for game days, weekend sports watching, whatever you want that to be. And they even have brunch on Sundays served from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. That is every Sunday. Hey, City Store is dog friendly, except for collies. And they have a tree net for kids. Don't mix the kids and the dogs in the tree net. That won't end well. Join the folks at Hayes City Store and bring your whole crew. For more information, check out the website at HayesCityStoreTX.com. Hayes City Store, it is uniquely Texas.
All right. Thank you, Jerry. And let's thank another one of our sponsors, our friends over at Von Lane. And we'll answer some more questions. Thank you to Von Lane. Folks, if you have to do any traveling for business or for personal reasons, or just because maybe just for vacation, maybe going to visit family, there's an option out there that provides you with the most luxurious and first-class travel experience on the ground, and that's Von Lane. Some of you are still flying those shorter routes in between major Texas cities, dealing with flight delays and TSA lines, or you're driving yourself, which can be even more of a hassle, dealing with traffic and dealing with road rage. You don't want to deal with that. Our friends at Von Lane, they offer you a first-class travel experience. You board in minutes at a private hotel terminal, settle into one of just 22 oversized leather seats. You enjoy complimentary Wi-Fi, snacks, beverages, and hot towel service on every trip. Select departures even have complimentary meals. They've upgraded their entire fleet with Starlink internet, so you can make your business trips even faster, making that Wi-Fi even more reliable. Also, our friends over at Von Lane, they have expanded the cities that they service: Austin, Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, Fort Worth, Plano, the Woodlands as well, Nashville, Memphis, Atlanta, and Knoxville. And if you're traveling with a team or you just have a big group, you can charter your own Von Lane coach, designing the trip from pickup to drop off. Visit vonlane.com, VONLANE.com. And if it's your first time riding, you can use the code OTF26 at checkout to receive $20 off your first trip with Von Lane. That's Von Lane, your private jet on wheels. I've taken it myself several times, so I would highly recommend the Von Lane service. Okay, guys, let's get to some super chats. Sorry to keep y'all waiting here for the super chats. How about this one from none other than Huey? Thank you. He says, Rod, I was at Knockout Night yesterday. You may be missing your calling as a ring announcer. Jeff, Jerry Hamilton, Jeff, good to see y'all as well.
Wait, what's Knockout Night? Where is that at?
Yeah. Thank you for the super chat, by the way, none other than Huey. So I've been for the last couple years, and I thought this thing might be illegal, so I didn't tell people about it. But I get to MC this event, and it's for RECA, the Real Estate Council of Austin. And it's one of their big fundraisers. And they actually have members, basically people who work for these different companies, members of these companies. They will voluntarily fight somebody from another real estate like a company. It's all type. It's it's obviously a lot of builders involved. There's people, obviously real estate sales is involved, every dimension in every area of real estate. I think it was 1,700 people at this thing. And they have 5 fights, and they fight. These are regular folks. Imagine you getting to see your colleagues.
Stevie Lee's not allowed, right?
Co-workers fight. No, it's just regular old folks. They train for a couple of months. They agree to do it, train for a couple of months, and they go in there and they got an official and everything, and we declare a people's choice or a people's champion. And they said they go out, 3 rounds, 1 minute each round, 1 minute in between rounds. And boy, it's wild. It's wild. It's fun. It's fun. Like I said, it's a great event. I don't even know how they've kept it kind of under wraps this long.
Rod,
by the way, we got to get Brian Ellis on Coffee and Football again. He was just in Slap Fest again. Power.
Oh, see, there you go.
Yeah. Texas fans, go check out the Power Slap Instagram, and you'll see Brian Ellis in heavyweight just laying hands on people just in slap fest. It's crazy. We had him on Coffee and Football after I just saw it. I saw it on Instagram. I was like, hold on, we got to get Brian Ellis on the show. It was like a week after a fight. He had shades on. It was like dark in his room. It was hilarious. We got to get Brian Ellis back on the show, guys.
I need to know the rules of is it slap boxing? What do you call it?
Dude, it's open hand, slap test, feet planted. You have to keep your head level taking shots. Rod, if you haven't watched it, it is wild.
I've seen clips of it. No, it is crazy.
10,000 for the winner, 5,000 for the loss, just to get the total hell beat out of you.
And how do you lose? Just get knocked out?
Dude, knocked out. They give you the count. That's the whole thing.
That's crazy. Yeah. So anyway, that's the knockout night. Thank you, none other than
Jeff Howe and Billy Lucci are going to do it next year.
No, it would be. I'm telling you really could. Like it's like I said, you probably would raise a lot of money because you'd be surprised how many people would like to see you fight. And that's
lean fired up.
Yeah. But no, it's a fun event. It's a great event. They do a really good job. All right. Moving on. Juan says, Jerry, do you think Will Muschamp will be a head coach again? And will it be in the SEC? Interesting.
I don't think so unless it's something unexpected.
Yeah.
I think Will's content. Not content. That's the wrong word. I think being a defensive coordinator, you never want to say never, right? But I think it would be a special circumstance.
I just don't know why he would. Like, being a coordinator, he can do the things he really likes to do and doesn't have to mess with NIL and boosters and coaches shows and all. Like, he could just coach football and recruit as a defensive coordinator. So I don't know why he would want to.
Yeah, I kind of feel you on that too. He's had that stress. I don't know if it's worth it. All right, thank you for that super chat. Super chat here from Silver Spurs Sicko said, "Did y'all watch Quinny Pooh's interview with Gruden? What do you think? Who is Quinny Pooh? Is Quinny Pooh that cat or dog? What is that? Is Quinny Pooh a cat? Is Quinny Pooh a cat? Are y'all playing a joke on me, Silver Spurs Sicko? Is this a joke?"
We're talking about the man who was formerly QB1 at the University of Texas.
Yeah. That's his Quinn Ewer's nickname. I did not see that interview, but it is pretty.
I didn't know. I was totally lost. I apologize.
It is pretty wild how he found out he was going to be the starter.
Oh, how did he find out? What was the story?
Jeff, did you see that? I have not watched it. I've been on the road all week, so I have not had a chance to sit down and watch.
I haven't watched it either.
So apparently, it was chat help Rod out with this, help me out with this, but apparently it was kind of it was on the computer and kind of the game plan stuff, and he was just noticed it. Literally, it was right there, and nobody else noticed it but him.
Oh, okay.
So it was somewhere on the Miami Dolphins like game plan that they send out weekly, if I got this correct, and he was the one guy that noticed it.
Yeah, McDaniel hit it. I don't know, like a turning your playbook into like a Where's Waldo book. I don't know, but it was hidden in the game plan. And
Silver Spurs Sicko, every play from left to right. There it was.
Oh, I gotcha. That makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. That's pretty cool though. At least he noticed it. Pretty good. I gotta go check that out. Thank you for the super chat. We appreciate that. So sorry I didn't know who Quinny Pooh was. I apologize. Hadn't heard that before. All right, let's thank our friends at Garage Beer one more time. We appreciate them for being our lead sponsor for our Friday live stream. As a matter of fact, let me get my there you go. All right. The garage is always open. Friends at Garage Beer. We appreciate them sponsoring our Friday live stream. Folks, if you are looking for the best light beer around, look no further than Garage Beer. It is crisp, refreshing, and only 95 calories. Beer-flavored beer to be enjoyed anywhere you and your friends get together. The garage is always open for Garage Beer. Oh, that's a beautiful sound.
Hey,
that's like a commercial right there.
I want to mention one recruiting thing real quick.
Yes,
since we're talking about corners and everybody asked about John Meredith, third out of North Crowley, formerly Euless Training, #1 ranked prospect in the state of Texas, 5-star. I I know there's reports out there that's like A&M and Alabama are the top two. I think it's going to be A&M and Texas the top two all the way through unless something happens. That is where I'm at right now with that recruitment. I think they'll both get OVs. I think Alabama will get an OV. I think Ohio State will get an OV. And I know Miami and Notre Dame are trying really, really hard. I think as of right now, if you're asking my opinion, I think this will come down to A&M and Texas.
Okay.
And I'm looking more early June as a possibility for John Meredith's OV.
Okay.
So we'll see. I don't think he's got him locked in yet. That's just being discussed right now.
All right. Thanks for that update, Jerry. We appreciate it. Just say a real quick couple of questions before we end things. Kyle wants to know, hey, Jeff, I just recently learned about the Ron McKelvey situation that happens in 95. What do you remember about it, and how did the staff let that happen?
So, well, I mean, that was, I guess it was easier to commit identity theft in 95 than it is in, 2026. It's funny. My high school defensive coordinator was a walk-on at Texas at the time. He was walk-on defensive back. And he said, and again, like you piece a lot of stuff together after the fact, but he just decided for whatever reason, like that he was going to give Ron McKelvey the nickname Outlaw. So like he'd see him and he'd be like, Outlaw Ron McKelvey. Like he just thought it sounded cool. He said every time he said that, he's like, he noticed like Ron McKelvey kind of looking like, do you know something I don't know? So he's like, yeah, no, you talk to guys that played at Texas at that time. And the night before the game, like they're wondering, like, is the game going to get canceled? Is it going to count? Are we going on probation? Like this was the night before the game when all this happened. And like Ron McKelvey just left. Like he was in New Orleans and was like, I got to go, and just left. And nobody saw him after that. So no charges, nothing ever happened. But it was just one of those things that it was like a massive deal when it happened. And then it was just kind of gone and forgotten. But yeah, to talk to guys that were like on the team in New Orleans for that Sugar Bowl, it was wild to be prepared. And then the night before the game, like this nuke gets dropped on you.
That's funny. That's hilarious. Good stuff. Yeah, we got Bucky Godbolt talks about our time because I think he's the running back coach during that time.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Joe says, Jerry, what recruits are you stalking today? Chris CV says, do I include 2025 in my Texas QB stat rod? I don't know. If you are talking about starts, then obviously Art started every game. He just didn't finish every game. So I don't know how you want to do that. Kind of reminds me of Sam Ellinger had one of them, right? Where that bowl game, he started, but he didn't finish the game. Cole McCoy had that game in 2009. We start, but you didn't finish in the championship game. So not sure how you want to break it up, but point is you're going to need whoever that backup is. They're going to need KJ Lacey. And to go full circle, the report from my man CJ at Owen Texas Football was that with Arch coming back off of the surgery, they're going to take it easy with him this spring. Looks like KJ Lacey will be getting a lot more reps than we anticipated. It's going to be, they say, KJ Lacey focused spring for the most part, getting him ready to go. All right, thank you for that. Also, how about this one from Ben South EC says, could OTF bring Huff and other legends on the channel? We're working on getting more guests. That's actually one of the objectives, I think, directives. Try to get more guests, and Huff Daddy includes that. So working on it, Ben South. We got you. Thank you for the super chat. We appreciate that. All right. Thank you guys for all of the participation in super chats. Thank you to Matthew behind the scenes. He's the real MVP. Nobody does it better. Thank you, Jerry, for all of your hard work and expertise. Jeff, appreciate you as well. Always doing a great job. Nice nuggets that you threw out there as well. Thanks to our sponsors. Thanks to Garage Beer. Also, thank you to Vaughn Lane. Thank you to Hayes City Store. And for Jeff and for Matthew and for Jerry, I'm Lifetime Longhorn Rod Babers. Until next time. Hook 'em. Have a great weekend, guys.